Hey, what's up everybody? Joshua Casper back at you with Plugin Boutique, and today we're checking out Signum Audio's Bute Loudness Suite Stereo. This is a metering plugin that gives you actionable information to make sure that your loudness normalization standards are met for a number of different presets, and of course you can make your own as well if something you're remastering for isn't included in the list. This is the plugin right here. It's very sleek, very sexy, and as I said, lots of information here. Super sleek. I'm going to just say it again because this is really nice. And not only that, but you can resize this thing. You can make it just have your, your meters here if you need it over here while you're doing your mastering or your mixing. You can make it really big. You can collapse it down if you want this way as well. So very, very versatile in that regard. And another thing that's really, really cool about this thing is you see how I've got some peaks here? I can jump into anywhere inside of my mix here. Just make the plugin a little bit smaller. Look at it. It can go X or Y in terms of resizing, so you can make it any size you want. But if I jump into this section of my mix, it actually remembers that and jumps to that point inside of here. So for right here is where I have a kind of, there's actually a peak going outside or above 0, and I can just jump right there and quickly make a change. If I want to come in to say the bass or the kick or something, just pull this down. And then if I go ahead and run it again, all right, let's start it a little bit before. You'll see that it's updated here. So it's actually gonna change and remember what's happened, so you can really make your changes quick and you don't need to reanalyze the entire song again. However, if you're looking at integrated loudness, you need to analyze the entire thing again, but while you're making quick changes like that, you can do it here and then go through and analyze the whole thing again. So I just wanna show you, for example, how I would master this for YouTube. So I'm gonna come in here, and right now I'm on the European Broadcasting R128 version 3 here, and that's not what I'm looking for. As you can see, we've got Tidal, Spotify, Apple Sound, Pandora, Netflix, and Hulu. Let's just say I'm looking at YouTube. It's going to go ahead and refresh the graph here, and I need to rerun the entire analyzation process again. And before I do that, I'm just going to change these back to where they were. And let's just go ahead and run it now, and I'm going to fast forward through it so we can jump into the actual beef of the tutorial here. All right, so there we go. We've analyzed the track. This is only like a portion of the track, but we're going to pretend it's the entire track just to speed things up a little bit. If I want to see the actual LUFS, I just click this button right here and it will show me that the LUFS of this track is -16.4. Now, if I jump into the settings here, we'll see that YouTube is set to -13 LUFS. I'm not sure if that's changed from where it used to be, which was -14, but we're going to keep it at -13. If I wanted to change it, all I need to do is put a 4 right there and I'll be good to go. So if I jump back out of here and click this again, this is going to set a relative scale, which means I'm actually -3.4 dB away from the target -13 LUFS. It's just simpler to work aiming for 0. If you're below 0, you're good, and you can actually push it a little bit in this case, or if you're above 0, you got to roll back. So I can easily just jump into, say, Ableton Live here. Again, let's resize this a little bit, jump into my audio effects, and let's just say put a limiter on here, right here on the master, put it in front of the Bute loudness, and I can, essentially crank it up 3 dB. Boom, and then I'd have to reanalyze the entire track to see if that was working or not. But let's just go ahead and run it right here and see how it sounds. So you can actually see the difference here. That 3 dB has really pushed it up. The momentary, the short term, the true peaks are really high. The RMS value is actually there too. If you hover over it, it will show you. There's not actually a line, but if you hover over it, you can actually see the highlight. And these are actually all will highlight as you hover over them. But you can see graphically that it's much louder. You can hear it as well. But, we're really focused on our integrated loudness values up here instead of our ears in this case, because we're looking to meet standards set by computer programs. So let's rely on other computer programs to hit those standards, or those marks rather. So it should be good to go. So again, I'd have to reanalyze this entire track. Let's do that. Fast forward. Taking that information I had over here, adding it to a simple limiter very quickly in the master chain, gave me green results. And you might be asking yourself, Josh, why was that red when you were way below your threshold? And it's exactly because of that. You were way below. So there was going to be some manipulation of your track when uploaded to YouTube to make it louder in that case. And you don't have any control over that if you do it that way. So getting it into the green space is where you want to be. And it's going to be plus or minus whatever you set, again, inside of the settings if I come in here. So you can see the tolerance levels. You can set that here to say, let's get it this close, because you're never going to be able to get it exact, or I'd say almost never, probably never. You can also do that for custom alerts for your short-term momentary loudness, RMS, and max true peak levels as well, all inside of these settings here. So the fact that we're green after we've analyzed the entire track, we are actually really close to done. Now we've got some other issues here. These little red peaks are values above 0, and that has to do with true peaks, which has to do with your digital to analog conversion. And this is saying that you are spiking here where these kicks are happening. So we can actually get in and use that information to lower the kick level, for example, inside of the mix, or I can turn the compressor up, the ratio of the compressor up even further to remove some of that bass to let the kick have more space. And, or I can put a true peak limiter on there. But what's really cool about the Bute Loudness Suite is it has a true peak limiter built in. So if I click that, and let's again go ahead and just run this. Boom. Now, instead of having the peak, we're actually getting some compression from the limiter inside of the Bute Loudness Suite Stereo. And it's called the stereo version because it does have a surround version as well. So if you're looking to use this for film, you can go ahead and grab that. Both versions are available on pluginboutique.com right now. As always, the links are in the video description if you want to check it out. Highly suggest this thing. If you're mastering tracks for different platforms, especially if you're going for broadcasting standards, you need to be exact or you're going to get into some trouble and no one's going to want to work with you again. So if you're serious about mastering and you're serious about uploading the correct, best versions of your tracks to various platforms on the internet or for broadcast standards, this is a fundamental for your toolbox. Anyway, I'm Joshua Casper. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.